So we finally have the flashback showing us just how evil and depraved the Jedi were, that they really were the brainwashing monsters that May told Osha in the last episode, that they really are just there to destroy all other Force users and just cause massive havoc. If only that was the case from what we actually see. Actually, what we see is the Jedi really doing nothing wrong. May is still a mass murderer. The witches do the wrong things. May lying to the Jedi, causing the issues further down the line. The Jedi being incompetent or creepy at the worst, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the episode. I mean, we can honestly just stop it right there. Soul, his creepiness comes in as he just has his mind fixated on getting Osha to be his Padawan and take her away from her mom's and bring her back to the Coruscant. Even though the Jedi Masters tell him, no, she's too old, you guys have interfered too much. Torbran, for his part, I don't really understand why he wants to kill himself. All the dude wanted was just to go back to Coruscant. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't understand their mission because his master sucked at training him. Like, yes, let your student try to think things through, but you should have a briefing at the very beginning like, hey, we're going to this planet, we're doing a study, we're looking for elements of the Force to see if it is the reason why this planet is rejuvenating so fast. Like, that's all you had to say. And you could leave it up to him for finding the connection with the Force and understanding more deeply why the Jedi care about that so much. Instead, you just let your Padawan out to dry for 7 weeks. If it's 7 weeks, I'm sorry, he's not going to figure out. Just tell the lad what's going on and then help guide him along like a true Jedi Master should. But you're a mediocre one at best, so that's to be kind of expected. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much his greatest crime in this entire episode. He wants to go home. For some reason, a Padawan who's been stuck in the Jedi Temple for at least 15 years now should be excited to be out doing Jedi things. Even if it is just a simple recon mission, he should still be super enjoying it because it's not stuck in the temple, but that's just me. And the only bad part he does is that he gets his mind raped by the witches when they go visit them at the night, and he agrees to serve her for some reason. I don't really understand why he agrees to serve her, because all she does is she seduces him by promising to help him go back to Coruscant and leave the planet alone. And he never does anything evil. Like, maybe the one thing you can say he does evil is that he gets on his motorbike later on and rushes back to the fortress to go grab Osha and May, because they are the ones who are the points of convergence, the Nexus Force points stemming from them. But other than that, he doesn't really do anything that betrays the Jedi. Like, so what was the whole point of showing us the scene of his mind getting invaded? Just doesn't make any sense to me. That's just what I'm trying to say here. May, still mass murderer. They try to give her some sympathy, trying to show us that, oh, she didn't mean to set the whole place on fire. But come on, like, you literally grab your sister's notebook, you lit it on fire, and then you dropped it, and then you drop the light source, and that causes the whole place to catch on fire. I still think she did it intentionally. Like, you can't have these two characters interacting at the same point. Like, the one who locks your sister into a room with this serious I'm going to kill you look and laying her notebook on fire and setting the whole place ablaze, versus, oh no, what did I do? I didn't mean to set the whole place on blaze. I didn't mean to set things on fire. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Also, by the way, apparently lamp oil can burn through stone. And if you don't get that reference, it's going back to the 9/11 where jet fuel was able to burn through steel. Just like, really, we're making those comparisons now, people. It's just, I mean, might as well at this point, because it's just as insane as anything else that we've seen in the show so far. But the worst part really honestly comes in towards the later part of the episode, when Soul and Andara and Torbjorn are conversing and talking about the results from the twins' tests, that finding out that two twins are convergence, that looks like they're the same Force entity down to the single cells of their DNA somehow. And they also decide to rush off to the fortress to go get the girls, even though they have expressed permission not to. And by doing so, they go to the fortress, find the doors are locked, so they once again scale the sides of the fortress. And why don't you have any security cameras on your fortress walls? Like, you have enough technology that would suggest you have that ability, so why don't you have that on your walls and watching your security footage? I get it if no one is around, but you know the Jedi are there, So why aren't you keeping an eye on that? But regardless, the Jedi are to scale up to the fortress. They have a confrontation with the two mothers. One of the mothers wants to fight the Jedi. The other one is being confrontational for some reason. Like, she already has agreed to let one of her daughters go, Osha, with them. So I don't really understand the standoff here. At this exact same time, we have May running out there screaming for help that there's a fire that's been started. Soul, for his part, he's thinking that's Osha. He's telling Osha to stay there. Pawn seeing that her kid's in danger. The head mother, the leader of the witches, starts turning to a smoky dark force demon that starts dissolving her and her daughter. So Soul, what he's supposed to do? He's seeing the kid in danger. She's seeing this creepy force on the dark side creature evolve. So Soul takes out his lightsaber, stabs her in the chest to save the child. Like, honestly, that's pretty much anyone who would watch this would think, like, what are you doing? You're supposed to decrease the tension in the area. You want Osha to go with him because that's what she wants, and you don't want any harm to come to any of the sisters there. So why did you turn to this massive force ghost entity just to frighten the Jedi? I don't understand it. Like, maybe the other mother would agree with that tactic since she wants to fight and kill the Jedi, but why is she doing it? I just don't understand that. So the Jedi's reaction is completely reasonable. Like, you see this weird, creepy force entity that was just about to fight you, and now it's making one of the girls evaporate. So, yeah, I don't really have too much of an issue. And her final words are, I was going to let Osha go with you, not I curse you, Jedi, or just a look of distraught upon her face and not saying anything, or just going to the other mother and just saying, let her go. Let the girl go with them. Like, nothing like that. It's just, I was going to let her go with you and then die. So, I don't know. In my opinion, she should have just done one of those other three options. But, hey, that's what the show is about. Now, with that done, the rest of the Coven, they all turn to force mist ghost things. And they're able to take over the mind of the Wookiee that just showed up. And honestly, at this point, all the Jedi should die. Like, I get that Soul is skilled, but when the Wookiee goes after Torin, he should just cut the kid in half. Like, the Wookiee's strength is no joke. He should just cut into him, kill him, done. And same thing with Soul. Like, unless Soul can show us some excellent blade work, which he didn't, and some amazing force powers, which he didn't, both of those guys should be dead. The only reason why they're not dead is that Jedi Trinity shows up, does some force maneuvers around the Wookiee's neck, and is able to force the other witches out of the Wookiee's head. And by doing that, it kills all the witches for some reason. Like, I think we've seen somebody enter someone else's mind in Star Wars before and then forcibly expelled. At least I think we've seen it in the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV show, and no one's died. And I don't understand why someone would die in this scenario either. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But from this scene, we then have Soul running out to go save May and Osha, only to find the two girls are on an unstable bridge about to fall into the doom. So, instead of reaching out his hands and grabbing them with a force and bringing them to safety, he reaches and grabs the bridge that they're both standing on and tries to force it up and save the girls. But apparently it doesn't really work all that well because he's straining, but it's obviously that he's going to fail. So he has to choose which sister to save, and he decides to save Osha. Now, this is a good thing for a couple reasons. First, she wasn't a mass murderer. Two, she didn't see you just literally kill her mom, so a bit more workable there. And three, later on when you tell the story that May killed your mom and everybody, she's going to be able to buy into it. Now, maybe that's a cynical look at it, and you have more of a connection with her than May, so maybe that's what I should have gone with first. But honestly, those other three reasons are pretty good reasons to say Osha over May. And once they finally get her back to the ship, we see the Jedi have a conversation about what just happened, that they're going to lie to the Jedi Council, that they're going to tell them that it was May that completely wiped out the Coven, and that now Osha is going to become Soul's Padawan, just as Soul wanted. But Soul, apparently he's now having a bit of a conscience, for he wants to go ahead and tell the Jedi Council the truth of what actually happened, and that it was his fault, which kind of it was, but not really. And the worst that would happen from him is probably he'd get reprimanded, and Osha would not be allowed to join the Order. But by going this way, Trinity has made sure that She'll become part of the Order, that she'll join Jedi, and rightfully so, Osha and the Jedi and her whole coven just completely destroyed everything that happened. So now Osha would be left out alone. So it was probably the right choice to make there. But in my opinion, this whole episode was pointless, was useless. We pretty much knew everything that was happening before. I was hoping that we'd maybe get a little bit more clarification on exactly how the whole fortress went on fire when it was a stone mine that was literally all stone, that none of it should really caught on fire at all. Maybe you can make the argument for the door, but that's it. The whole place should not have gone up in flames. The whole thing of killing the sisters with the Force doesn't make any much sense to me. But you know what? I'm just a normal Star Wars fan, so maybe I don't have the right insight to that. But you guys let me know, what did you think down in the comment section below. Did you think that this was the paramount episode so far in the season, that it changed your mind completely on the Jedi, that the Jedi were completely wrong? Or do you agree with me that nothing really happened in this episode? Nothing really changed my mindset about the Jedi, except for Soul is more of a creep now. That's changed a bit there. But besides that, fundamentally, no. The witches were still evil. They were still wrong. May is still a mass murderer. Osha is a confused kid that wanted to do good. And the Jedi were just trying to do good things. That's pretty much what I got from this. But you guys let me know what you thought down in the comment section below. I look forward to hear from you. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.